Hi everyone, good evening, happy Sunday, and hope you're doing well. Yeah, okay, I think that's better. I'm glad to be here. I couldn't be here last week, and sincere apologies about that. How have you been? And how has the girls been? Most importantly, my name is Formula Akintola Williams. I am the lead coach at the Informed and Reformed Teens Academy. It is an online mentorship academy for girls, and we encourage girls between the ages of 10 and 18. Our curriculums that we run them through to ensure that they grow up into the kind of adults that we need them to be. Okay, scratch that. The kind of adults that God needs them to be. Looks like I'm beginning to just gather my momentum. Okay, we'll just go right onto it. So it's not gonna be long like that today. So today we're gonna be talking about something that most parents have asked me about. And for me, before my daughter became a teenager, she used to be close to me. She used to share things with me. She used to blah. She used to this. She used to that. But suddenly, I don't know what happened. Looks like if something changed, or I don't know, everything changed and everything. And I say, first thing I say is, what happened before she became a teenage girl? Because what happened before is most of the time going to be a determinant factor of what will subsequently continue to, happen. So today we're going to be having conversations. And one thing that most parents keep forgetting is that your teenage girl is no longer the toddler that you know, no longer the preschooler that you could tell, no longer the pre-tween girl that you could say to, oh, sit down there, come here, blah, 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 blah. A lot of change, a lot of growth, a lot of things is happening to her. And then it's good for if your daughter, if you're not, if you don't have a teenage daughter yet, if it's a preteen daughter that you have, I mean, you should count yourself very lucky, so that it's not, this particular stage doesn't creep on your girl like a thief in the night. So that when it comes, you begin to prepare. So that it's not when you get to that teenage, that's when you're not looking for what to do, but rather you're already preparing for what you already know what you need to be doing before the time comes. Okay, so we're talking about how to be imprinted positively. A lot of imprints, it could be positive, it could be negative, but today we're talking about how to be imprinted positively in the mind of a teenage girl. Don't forget, the imprint you make in the mind of your girl when they are at home is what will determine what will happen when they become adults. If you're watching me live, you can put down in the comment section the imprint you put in the mind of your girl when they were teenagers or when they are at home will determine what will happen when they become adults. Have you seen adults that can't carry on conversations with their parents? Their relationship with their parents is not beyond sending money for upkeep, and then that's it. No connection, no communication, no conversation. So it did not just start on that day. It started years before that. I remember that most of the people, one of the people I go to when I really need to chat, or I really need to cheat, or I really need to share perspective is my mom. I'm able to do that even at this adult age. So that communication did not, that did not, oh, pardon me, please. That did not just start. It's an offshoot of something that we've been building for years. Do you understand? Nobody wakes up in adulthood and decides to, oh, I want to have a connection with people that they never connected with, or they never had any sort of communications or whatever with when they were much younger. So anything that's going to happen when your daughter is an adult, this is the time to start setting the template for it. So that's why this conversation is very, very important. So how can I begin to improve? And of course, it is only someone that is impressed positively. Jesus, God, please. Please pardon me. It's only someone that has been positively impressed upon your mind that you want to reach out to you know when you need to, or when life makes you want to. So, for example, you don't just randomly call people that you don't have connections with begin to. Do you understand what I mean? You don't randomly call. You have a lot of contacts on your phone, but there's some people that you can never call, not because they're bad people, not necessarily because of anything, but because you know that you just do not have that kind of relationship that makes you want to reach out to them. So that's what we're talking about today. How do you begin to positively imprint in the mind of a teenager? Number one, you have to understand your child's wiring. What is the makeup of your child? You know, those things that we're talking about knowing your daughter. There is nothing as important as it. You need to know your daughter. You need to know the kind of wire. You need to know um the wiring. Is she a heart person? Is she a mind person? Is she a fire person? Is she Do you understand what I mean? You need to understand what ticks my daughter. When you understand what ticks her, I mean what matters to her, what is important to her, when you know that, then you begin to, oh pardon me please, that's when you begin to know how to help that daughter. So understand your child's wiring, understand her makeup. That's what I'm trying to say. You say, Aunt for me, how am I going to do that? You have to learn. You have to read. You have to open your mind. What are the what? How do I understand my child? How do I know my child? You know, my teenage daughter. Don't forget, this is the most important aspect of your journey with your daughter. You know, I've always said it a lot of times that most of the things that happen in teenage. Most of the choices that people make. Pardon me, I've been a bit under the weather. I'm just trying to come back, so please pardon me for that. So I've said it constantly. Most of the things that happen, most of the gaps, most of the errors, most of the whatever happens in teenage and it spills over into adulthood and like that and like that. That is why it is important for us to have this conversation. What is the makeup of your child? What makes your child tick? You need to find nobody will do that for you. That is your duty, that is your job, and that is your responsibility. Find out, is your daughter person? Imagine if your daughter is someone that is very, very sensitive with words and everything, and it's that kind of person that you begin to lambast, someone that treasures words so much. Do you understand what I mean? Someone that holds words so dearly is the one that you now begin to pour all sorts of, because you are angry, because you can't control yourself, because a lot of things are going on with you as well. Those words are going to be there. And it's going to make an impact or an imprint, as the case may be. The question is, what kind of imprint or what kind of impact will the word make? Or for example, your daughter is the kind that likes, likes being touched, and it's that same hand that you're using to eat, you're using to slap. Do you understand what I mean? So you need to understand which one resonates with my daughter, what ticks my daughter, what makes my daughter come alive the most. Very important. Some it's just that they want to spend time with you, and it's that time that your child, if your child is that kind of child, and then she comes to you and say, "I don't know, I'm busy. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I have a headache. Oh, I'm this, I'm that." What are you doing? You're making an imprint. But the question really is, what kind of imprint are you really making? Or it's kind of time that likes to do things for people, or she also does things for people. And she comes and, "Mommy, please, could you help me with my zip?" She comes, "Mom, please, can you help me with my zip?" I go, "No, don't stress me." Because you are tired, like I am right now. Because you're tired, because you're overwhelmed, because a lot of things is going on with you. Don't forget, your daughter is not the reason you're tired. Your daughter is not the reason you're overwhelmed. Your daughter is not the reason you're feeling sad. Your daughter is not the reason you're all of those things. So why are you taking it out on her? Do you understand? So if you need to go back into yourself and begin to figure out your process, if that's what you need to do, then you need to be doing that. So that, don't forget, you need a permanent positive imprint in the heart of your daughter, not for anything, so that when the time comes, when she needs to, she will not hesitate, she will not think twice, she will just come, because she knows that she's always welcome. All right, the next thing you need to do to be able to be positively imprinted is to give guidance based on that wiring. If your daughter is that one that wants that takes because of physical contact, you need to know how you'll be regulating your emotions. You need to know what to do when you're angry, that you're not just lashing out, using that, is an object of love for your daughter. So if you now begin to use that hand to lash out in anger, any small thing, backhand bad, this one bad. Do you understand me? So you need to be able to now know. You now guide her, you now guide your daughter based on the wiring. You guide your daughter based on the wiring that you have come to understand. So this is the child that, she's quite sensitive to words. Words is what makes her tick. So you need to be careful. You're now not talking. You're not talking hurtful. vengeful words in anger, knowing that words are very, very important to her. And it's the kind of daughter that all she needs is, she wants time spent with her, blah blah. So as she comes to you, if truly you're tired, you cannot give your best at that time. So what to do is you make up. You be like, okay, you know what, mommy is really really this way right now. But if you just give me an hour or two, do you understand? So begin to guide. Don't forget, all of that is just an avenue, an entrance for you to be able to help and truly support your girl. If she feels seen by you, if she feels heard, if she feels understood by you, then it makes it easier for her to come to you when things are going right and when they're going right again. So you need to now begin to give guidance, give counsel based on a wiring, not according to. I think the challenge who parents have is to say something like, when I was this, I was not like that. That is you. Your daughter is not you, and you're not your daughter. So don't give counsel based on your own wiring. Give it rather. Don't give guidance. If you're watching live, you can put in the comment section. Do not give guidance, counsel, or wisdom based on your wiring. No, you're not the one you're parenting. You're parenting your daughter. So you need to be giving all of that based on your child's wiring or your daughter's wiring, on the level she wants to be met. But the thing is that most times parents, you want to be the one to call the shots. You want to be the judge, you want to be the jury, you want to be the executioner. It can't work. It cannot. And that is why you're having all of the struggles that you have with your teenage daughter. And you're saying, I don't understand why she's behaving like this. You cannot understand because you're not meeting her where she wants to be met. If you don't meet her where she wants to be met, how are you going to help her? So that means you have to come down from your high horse. You really, really have to. Let me get that. You really, really have to come down on your high horse and then begin to guide your daughter based on a wiring that you have discovered. So nobody will discover the wiring of the daughter for you except you. Okay, so after you have done that, the next thing you want to do, you need to understand the workings of her mind. I know this might be a bit challenging, but you know what? If you've been working with your daughter all your life, that is the idea. It's not this one you do this one. So mommy, I'm tired. All this thing is a lot of. Of course, it's a lot of work. You don't know. You did not know before. You did not get the memo. Yeah. So raising teenage girls in this age for to be old, to be healthy, to be functional is a lot of work. So you're not going to be saying, "Oh, I'm tired. I am this. I am that." No. So you're going to be understanding. You need to understand the workings of our mind. Say, trust me. If I say a lot is going on in the mind of our girls, you better believe it. A whole lot. I was in a session with them and I were teaching some of them and the things they were saying. Some of them I was even telling my coach, are you sure this is how we're gonna be dropping it on the laps of their parents? A whole lot is going on. A whole lot. They're curious about a lot of things. And the thing is that they will not talk if you do not ask. So you must schedule a time. You must schedule what I call catch up time. That's what I call it. There has to be a catch up time. No matter how busy life gets, there has to be a catch up time with you and your teenage girl. So find that's just you're not trying to catch up. Don't forget, you're catching up with them. What's going on? What's new? What is there a concern? Do you understand? Just ask. Let them know that yes, anytime the door of your heart, the door of your mind is open. Welcome to them. When they know this, they may not take advantage of it immediately, but they will eventually. And then when the need really, really comes, that is the idea of all of these things. When the need really, really now comes, they are not afraid to knock. So they will just knock and then they will just come right in. So you need to understand the workings of their mind. And if you have not been doing it before, it will be awkward. That's why, as I am, there's something that I don't know how we need to converse about. Nothing is awkward. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I say, I know, shock me now. That's what I used to say. Say, shock me now so that you don't shock me later. So ask them. Also ask their world views on certain things. I've said this before. Ask their view. You'll be shocked at the you in your mind, you'll be thinking, oh, let me I think I've had I used to bring practical examples from my work with my daughter a lot. So you'll be shocked that you in your mind you're thinking, they should understand. Oh, they should get it. But in their own mind, what they are thinking is not what you're thinking, their parents. What they are thinking is like this. What you are thinking is in that way. So you need to understand the workings of the mind of your daughter. It is when you understand the workings of mind, that's the only time you can now say, oh, okay, is this how you're thinking? Can we now look at it this way? Do you understand? So you're not saying my way or the highway. You can't be saying that to a teenage girl, you will lose her. She'll shut down, she'll pretend. Don't forget she's a girl. Don't forget she's like you too. You know the way you used to pretend about what you don't like? She's what she'll pretend. Oh, you did not know? Okay. She will even do it better than you because she will have had time to practice. So please understand the work. If she says, "Oh, mommy, this is what I think," don't. For example, I was coming back from church today, and then there was something happened in church, and we were talking, blah blah blah, and one of the girls said, "Oh, auntie, you did this, you just butted in." Oh, I felt a bit like, but that's why the way I felt, I cautioned myself, and I still say, "Okay, tell me." What do you mean? I wanted to see what her mind is working. So when I still listened, it takes humility to listen when you're being buffeted, yeah. But I still listen, and after I had enough finished, and I said, "Oh, is that it? Or do you know that this is why?" And then we had a conversation about it, and then said, "Oh, okay, blah blah blah." And then we understood. We came to we came to some sort of understanding. So if I don't understand, if for example, when she said, "Oh, you butted in," I would have just and I've just gone, fly over the room. Ah, what do you mean? How they talk to me last? Do you know? Hey, madam, calm down. That's the last one you hear. You know, we another one. So you need to understand. So sometimes, sometimes they come across as sometimes you're thinking, "Ah, why is this child?" Do you understand? But still be humble, still calm down because you're trying. Don't forget that she's a teenage, she's not fully grown. You're trying to capture the art, you're trying to guide in the right direction without scaring off at the same time. So understand, ask questions. I've told you how to do this. Ask random questions. For example, you see something trending online, bring comments about it. Ask what they think. All of that thing. When you do these things, you will not know. But what you're doing is you're permanently impressing yourself on her mind. Do you understand? So that is how to do this thing. So the next thing you want to do is you need to teach authoritarianism for authoritative parenting. All this shout, all this command, all these rules, all these laws. See them looking at you. That's not the way. Oh, that is authoritarianism, like a military ruler. Oh, of course, they will because they are still in your house. They will, after all, you still have to feed them, you still have to house them, haven't you? So they will in the meantime. But I can tell you, no deep transformation is happening within. I can tell you for free. No, and if you're watching me live, you can put in the comment section. No deep transformation can happen in an authoritarianism setting. Mm-mm. In their mind, they are sitting down, but physically to you, they are standing, but in their mind, they are sitting. So ditch it today, this minute. Ditch it is not going to help your process with your girl. Ditch it for authoritative. That's the one that guides, the one that gives reasons, the one that makes them understand. But your daughter is no longer the 10-year-old. She wants to. You have just said to her, no curfew. I mean, no this, bam, and that is it. She's wondering why, and it is pride to say that because I said so. It is pride. Who are you? You're a parent. You're not God. Am I saying your position is not important? No, your position is not. Your position is very very important. But at the same time, you're meant to guide. And in that instance, have you guided? When you say, if for example, you just like lay down a log, bam, and then you say, "Oh, but mom, why?" And then you go, "Because I said so." Hmm. You have goofed because it shows that even you do not really understand why you said why. Because if you did, you would say so that they're not just following blindly. So they're not just following blindly. And then when they have the opportunity to rebel, they say, "Oh, well, I hope you know that some of your daughters cannot wait to get out of the house." So I'm telling you, they cannot wait, and I think that is really sad. I think it's really sad. I think that that means it may not appear so to you, but that means that you rather think that she's feeling stifled, she's not feeling seen, she's not feeling hard. And what do you think will happen after she just jets out of your house without you fixing this thing that we're talking about? Do you see why you need to be taking this thing seriously? So the next thing we want to talk about is you need to be humble to learn and admit mistakes. This one I know is very hard for you. After your almighty parents. Hey, me, I used to if I'm wrong, I used to admit that I'm wrong. Oh. Because no, so it's like I'm showing myself as vulnerable. So I'm not almighty no. No. But some of us would rather look for other means. What is it? It is pride, nothing else. Nothing, and that's the same thing that you apply with your relationship to your spouse or your partner. And even if you say, "I can never say sorry, I can never apologize." What does she mean? What does it mean? It's the same thing. It's the same spirit. It's the same spirit. So you need to be humble. If you really be implanted in the mind of your teenage girl, you cannot deal with pride. You can't deal with arrogance. Without you can't deal with being an authoritarian parent. Be humble. And humility is part of your humility is learning. It's part of that's why you're in this class. That's part of your humility. You're learning. You're saying that, oh, I don't know everything. Oh, I don't know certain things. Oh, I have blind spots. I need help. So part of your immunity journey is learning. Part of your immunity journey is training yourself. Part of your immunity journey is if you're seeing gaps in yourself, you're seeking to correct it, you're seeking to end it. That's part of your immunity journey. Part of your immunity journey is saying that, oh, you were wrong, and then you have the immunity to admit to yourself that, oh, that thing I said or that thing I did, I shouldn't have. I cannot count the number of times. So that means apology flows between, it flows from up to down and also down to up. Apology, if you are watching, like I put in the comment section, apology and humility, they flow up to down, down to up. How do you mean that you have never goofed? That means you must be God. You have never goofed in your relationship with your daughters. So how come you've never admitted that you goofed to them before? You're teaching them that they are infallible and then they will always be right, which is not true. But you would not know, but that's what you're teaching. So do not be too proud. Do not be too proud to bring yourself down. To learn, to admit mistakes, to relearn, to unlearn. It will help you to help your daughter. Okay, I already said that today's one is not going to be a long one. The next thing you want to do is you want to understand the world and reality of a teenage girl. This is one thing that most parents are missing. Your words are different though. Your words are different. Your reality is different. My next week for teenagers, I was sharing on this on how that the margin between our world and theirs is like this. So and then look at you, see where you're coming from, see where your daughter is. How do you come without learning, without understanding the world you want to come into? How would you influence that world? How does anyone influence the world that they don't understand? Do you now see where there's a lot of struggle between you and teenage daughter? Do you understand? How do you begin to help a daughter that you don't understand what's going on in her world? She say, oh, mommy, you don't get it. Have they told you that before? Say, oh, mommy, you simply don't get it because it is true, you don't get it. So you need to get it. And part of your way to get it is to stay humble. If you stay humble, they will teach you. Yes, so they will tell you what's going on. But if you're only proving, oh, you don't have been born before you, all of that, I've told all of that does not. I don't know how you guys said all those things. Of course, will she be born before you? Will she be born? Are you not the mother? But your words are different. While you were growing up, you didn't have as much pressure as they have. You don't have as much noise on it. Some of us think, I think have I shared it? Have I shared it here before? That my first contact with Facebook, I'd finished university. I'm telling you. So I was in law school. That was 2009. So can you imagine? So I was just coming from class, and a friend was saying one to one, and she just mentioned. I even remember the name of the girl that mentioned it that day, and she said one to Facebook. I said, "What's Facebook?" Trust me, that was my first encounter. And before I had an account, I'd already left law school. So our daughters and the words. So you also now compare that to the girl that I actually gave birth to in the time of when people were doing pregnancy baby shoots. I don't even call it safe. Do you understand? So you are coming from different worlds. So you need to understand our world and our reality. Because our world and our reality is quite different from you. It is pride, nothing else. It is pride to think that you will just understand without seeking to know. You need to be in that world to be able to influence. Who influences a world they don't understand? How are you going to do it? Who influences a world they don't understand? Nobody. Find out what's going on. What's new? And all these things, it might be like, so we're just playing around, we're not really doing anything. But these are the things that make you planted firmly in their hearts. And why do you want to be planted? Don't forget, I've told you. So that even when you're not there, your voice of wisdom, your voice of guidance should still be ringing in the ears of your daughter. Even while you are not there, that is when you are truly one. You are not there, but she's remembering, oh, mommy is somewhere here. God's spirit is somewhere here. The mommy is somewhere here. Dad is somewhere here. That's the biggest win for you. You're not there, and your voice is constantly still ringing, constantly. How will it ring? When it is when your daughter hear your voice, she only hears the screams. You know, when I was very foolish, so I would just and my daughter, she was very young, maybe two, she wasn't even three, very young, and then she would do like this. When I understood the meaning of that, nobody taught me. I went to go and look for help for my life. Thank God I looked for help early. Thank God. So imagine growing up into a teenage girl, and for every time she wants to go back into her mind, the only thing that she can hear is your noise, your shouts, your hurtful words, your vengeful words, because you can't control your emotions, because you can't control how you feel. Are you imprinted? Are you imprinted positively? You can answer the question for yourself. So you need to understand our world and the reality of uh, circumstances. The next thing you need to be doing to help you to be positively imprinted in the life of your teenage girl, you need to be a parent who knows how to reset. I'll tell you what I mean. So resetting is, oh, I've goofed. Resetting is, oh, I didn't quite know that. Resetting is, how can I be better? Resetting is, what do I do? That's a parent that constantly resets, seeks to be better, is not proud, is open to learning, is willing, is eager. That's a parent who constantly, because you know what? As you're taking those steps, your daughter is seeing you. She's seeing that, oh, mommy is sincere in trying. That is, and you know what? That's one thing about girls. You know, girls, they're like you, and I've told you, they're also very intuitive. When you're trying, they know. Your daughter knows when you're trying, and she will give you the breather. Honestly, she knows. So to be imprinted positively in her mind, you need to learn how to constantly reset, which is I've told you how to do it. You can pause, you can take a break and say, oh, okay, let me tell you something I used to do to myself. So there's something that is a trigger point for me. So as I'm coming from work, I've been telling myself, even if I see that trigger point, I refuse to be triggered. I will have been saying it to myself from work, such that when I get home, nothing. I've said to myself now. So what's the it's a lot of work. Every year I enroll I enroll in becoming an emotionally intelligent parent course. For the past 5 or 6 years, I've been doing it. So we're getting better. We're getting better. We're getting better. So you need to be a parent who knows how to reset. So already I used to tell myself, I used to create the scenario in my head. So that when I see the scenario, I'm not behaving like a mad woman. Oh, before I used to be trust me, before I used to be like a mad woman. But not anymore. Are there times I make mistakes? Yes. But do I reset? Almost immediately. I don't let it wait. Some of you are keeping marriage with your daughter. I don't understand. You want to be positively imprinted and you are keeping malice. Okay now. Some of you are keeping malice. You are. You're keeping malice. With your own daughter. The next thing to do is to be positively imprinted. Today is going to be short. Please pardon me. The next thing to do is to be positively imprinted in the mind of your daughter is you need to prioritize and do not miss moments. This is very key for girls. Prioritize. It's not every. It can't be in every moment. You're not God. But prioritize. Do not miss the important moments. Don't. You will know the important moments of your daughter's life because she will not let you rest about it. Don't miss them. Don't miss them. Are important moments. Trust me, you will know it. You will know it if you're observant, if you're watching, if you're careful. There's no how you miss an important moments. And that takes me to the next one, which is that even if you don't miss those moments, learn how to make up for missed moments. That's parenting. If you fall, you pick yourself, you get up better, and you get up. You fall, you pick yourself, you get better, and you get up. You fall, you pick yourself, you get better, and you get up. And the more you do that, by the time you see that your stumblings, your fallings are becoming more and more reduced. It's becoming more and more reduced. Then finally, for today, you need to cement every of your process using the bond of love and hope. Everything, everything. What does the Bible say that love does? Do you remember? I don't know why we think that the scriptures don't apply in our relationship with our girls. As a matter of fact, where you've been reading your Bible most, or the word of God that you believe most, is in your relationship with your teenage girls, because that stage can try somebody. that stage can really, really try somebody. So you're going to be applying love, patience, tolerance, forgiveness, all of those things. Sees no wrong, believes all things, knows all things. Those are the things you need to be using. On this your journey, on this your journey with your teenage girl, you need to cement every of this, the bond of love and hope. So we're going to be stopping today here. Apologies, is I just have to come today because showing up is a thing. Okay, so I've mentioned 10 things that you need to do, and do not forget all of these things that you are doing. It is so that you can be cemented in the heart of, yeah, so that you are unshakable like the mount of Gibraltar, so that when things do, because those things will happen. When they will, I don't know. But so that when those things do happen, by the time your daughter recalibrates and goes back into her mind, she knows, oh, I can compare. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do that. So I mentioned 10 things. I said you need to understand your child's wiring, you need to give guidance based on her wiring, you need to understand the workings of her mind, you need to teach authoritarianism for authoritative parenting, you need to be humble to learn and admit mistakes, you need to understand the world and reality of your teenage girl, you need to be a parent who knows how to reset. I taught you how to do that. You need to prioritize and do not miss our moments. When you miss our moments, do not forget to make up for them. And then finally, you need to cement every of your journey with your daughter in hope and love. And as you do these things, trust me, you're writing, you're using gold to boldly inscribe yourself in your daughter's life. And I said something again that you should take with you. I say if you're trying, your daughter sees you. They may not say it, but they do know that you're trying. And then that brings us to the end of our conversation for today. If you've learned something, see, we need to grow this community together, okay? So please tell other parents of girls that there's a community where you're learning, and then bring your girls to Twitter. Details about registration, everything will be shared in the course of the year. And then do not forget, watch out for my latest book. It's 85, 90% done, and then all of the details will be shared. Please buy for your girls. Let your girls read. Trust me. See, it will help them. Oh, it will shape them in ways that you cannot begin to quantify. And then that's what we're calling today for today. Thank you so much. You're catching a replay. You're watching me live. God bless you. I'll be here, God willing, next week. God bless you. Bye bye.